Hey, Fit Fam, it's your girl, Olentina Ballant, and I am the Fitter Woman. Thank you for joining me today on a very special episode of Muscles and Stilettos. Today, we're going to talk about what it means to be strong. Brenda strong, that is. Fam, a lot of times when we're going through tough times, we're told, be strong, stand strong, stay strong. And you sit there with the tears in your eyes and you're like, And in your mind, you're going, I don't know how to be strong. I know that within all of you, you have a strength within you that you may not even know. And today on this episode, we have a very special guest, Atika, visionary and founder of Brenda Built Collections, that is going to show us how to do just that. Stay tuned. My name is Orlandina Ballant, and I am the Fitter Woman. I'm an educator, motivator, professional bodybuilder. I am the People's Health Coach, here to help you to become your best selves. And this is Muscles and Stilettos.
I am Wonder Woman, a wonder of a woman, a creature so fearfully and wonderfully made that even my creator had to sit back and say, ooh, man, an amazing Amazon, protector to all. Hell hath not the fury that I can unleash, should I or my loved ones be scorned. Mother Earth, growing potential thoughts, potential ideas, birthing those ready to be born and those ready to be reborn.
Hello, fam, and today we have with us Atika of Brenda Built Collections. Thank you, Atika. Hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you today?
I'm well. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. We are so excited to have you on the show today, and you are hailing all the way from where?
Nashville, Tennessee, Music City.
That's
Woo-hoo.
right. Woo! You guys just had a museum open up as well, right?
Yes, yes, we did. We did.
Oh my goodness. So I'm like, I got to make my way back down there. I have great friends down there, and I always enjoy myself when I'm in Tennessee. So I can't wait. I got to come down because I got to come see you in person.
Absolutely.
Fam, how did I come across Atika? Well, I didn't come across Atika first. I met her jewelry. One of my good friends, Demetrius Cheney Perkins of Journey Fitness, she sent us all her girlfriends, these beautiful jewelry, these beautiful earrings and ring of butterflies. When I opened it, I was just amazed by it was just so beautiful. And I just happened to be filming an episode on agape, talking about love. Friend actually love amongst friends, which is philia. And to open that gift on that very day, I was just like, how awesome is this? So I open the box and I see Atika's card and I'm reading your story. And I'm just blown away. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, I have to meet her. Demetrius, please, I have got to meet her. Her story is so beautiful. I have to share with everybody. Just to hear the story of Brenda Built Collections and how it came to be. And I got an opportunity to speak with you, and I just had goosebumps. And I'm like, nah, I got to share this with my fit fam. So a fam here is Atika, and Atika, tell us who you are.
Well, thank you for that. I am Brenda's daughter. That's who I am. You can see her picture behind me. I've been told I'm a spitting image of her. And today is really to just honor her life and her legacy. I am the middle sibling, the middle child, should I say, of I have two siblings, and we are all very proud Brenda's children. And our mom unfortunately passed away unexpectedly last May. And for anyone who has lost their mom, that is the deepest pain and grief that you will ever feel because you only have one mother. And from that, being a strong woman, a strong person, as I've been and been told my whole life, I found myself being in one of the most vulnerable positions I've ever been in and not really knowing how to move on and just what to do and really start questioning purpose. And so from that, just really God gave me a vision, and a vision was just deposited into my spirit. My spirit, and the best way to honor your mother is to tell her story and to be who she created you to be, and to make sure when people hear the name Brenda, that it means something different to them. And so the beautiful thing is, we had an opportunity before my mom passed to always joke with her about getting shirts made saying that we were Brenda built. And she thought that was the most beautiful thing and funny thing as well. But to actually be able to take that, just the concept of Brenda built, and share it with you all today and share it with the world, that's who I am. It's not about me. It's truly about the life and legacy of my mom.
It's beautiful how you were able to use grief, something so heart wrenching. I mean, death, to bring forth life, and life in a way that it's like infinite, because now your mother's influence is no longer just influencing you and your siblings, but now it's influencing people from beyond Nashville, Tennessee, from beyond the United States. This legacy of hers is now continuing on in others, and this it's a legacy of strength. So how would you define strength?
For me, strength, of course, is the ability to lead. But it's not also the ability to lead, it's the ability to lead, and to lead with your vulnerabilities, to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And I have to admit, that's something that I've had to learn through this process. For the first time in my life, I literally have had to say out loud, I am not okay. And in that, so much strength came to me, and just being able to articulate that and to speak it out loud, and to really just embrace the support that I received by just saying, I'm not okay, you know? And so it's really allowing yourself to be able to just showcase your vulnerabilities, because oftentimes when you are quote unquote the strong one, you don't get a pass to show your vulnerabilities. You always have to walk upright and, say the right things and do the right thing. And so being able to really be strong and to have strength, it comes from within, it's internally. And to be able to say and take ownership of your own vulnerabilities, and use those vulnerabilities to help other people, to empower other people, for me, that is true strength. And that is what I continue to try to exude and exemplify every day.
You said something very poignant, because many times women are, we just, we're tough, we're tough, we're tough, we got this, and to be able to say and be vulnerable and say, look, I'm not okay, and to be okay in that, it takes a lot, because now you have to admit to yourself that you don't got it, um, and to admit to others that you don't got it. So, how would you suggest someone begin that sense of vulnerability? How do you begin to say, I'm not okay? How do you get to that space?
I think the first thing, and of course, I can just speak from my own experiences, because those that know me and know me very well know that my whole life I've had to be strong, just to kind of come into who I am, to support my mother, and to, in the different medical issues that she's had along her life. And so for me, not being strong was never an option. And I think the first thing I had to do, I had to own it. I had to take ownership of it. And I had to just let myself know that, Atika, this is not okay. You are not okay. And as scary as it is to let other people know that, you have to really utilize those persons around you who love you the most, who care about you the most, and who truly has never left your side. And, most people have someone like that in their lives. And I think that it starts with going to that person who you know love you, who love you unconditionally, who care about you, and being able to just say to them, I am not okay. And this is a scary place for me to be. And I don't know what's going to come from this,
Yeah.
but I need to say it out loud and let you know that I'm not okay. And so taking ownership of it definitely is something that has helped me. And I encourage people to do that, because a lot of times the hardest thing in the world is to acknowledge and take ownership of your own
Yes.
stuff before you can
Yes.
actually deal with it.
Oh my gosh, you just hit two big points. First of all, you need a tribe of people around you to support you when you are feeling vulnerable and you are feeling weak, and not feeling yourself. You need a tribe of people around you to support you, and to also acknowledge your hand in certain things that have appeared or manifested in you. A lot of people have a hard time with that, and there's something to be said when you own your stuff. it hurts, it's shocking, but it puts you in a position of strength, because
It
now you
empowers you.
say it again.
It empowers you.
It does. Absolutely. Because now you're no longer a victim of circumstance. You now can, as they say, you can just captain your ship, master of your soul, right? Captain of my destiny. I hope I even said that correctly. But it allows you to do just that. So that leads us to the Brenda Built collection. Can you tell everybody what Brenda has now come to mean?
Absolutely. I'm so excited. My mom's name, of course, is Brenda. It's a very common name. She was born in the 50s, so I think everyone knows a Brenda Ann somewhere, especially coming during that time. But Brenda, it means exactly what my mother represented, but I think what so many other men and women, because the Brenda Built collection is not just for women, we also have some pieces to empower men as well. But of course, the B is for brave, being able to overcome and to tackle, your own stuff, and
Yeah.
being brave enough to kind of push through that. The R, and being resilient, being able to overcome, because once you kind of allow your vulnerabilities to come out, it sometimes is a sketchy area to be in, because you're trying to kind of coach yourself through some hard times, but
Mhm.
your resilience comes from allowing yourself to be vulnerable, and showing that outer strength. And then of course with the E is empowering, just being able to really empower others, but also to empower yourself. Every day that we wake up, the most beautiful thing that we all have is the power to choose. And we have the power of choice, whether we choose left or whether we choose right. But to use that power of choice to empower yourself every day, and to also empower others. And then, of course, something my mom was absolutely an example of is non-conforming.
Oh,
She was not about to conform to anyone's opinions or standards of herself. She set her own standards. She set her own, markers as far as what she wanted, how she wanted it, and that's what she lived by. And at the end of the day, long as it brought her joy, she lived with so much intentionality. And so, just not being conforming to what people think you should be, but conform only to who you feel like you need to be. And then, of course, being dedicated to those that you love, being dedicated to your purpose, is very important. And it's definitely something that my mom has always taught me and my siblings to be. And last but not least, being authentic. Every day that you show up, no matter where you show up, whatever, no matter what spaces you are showing up in, but to be your genuine, authentic self. Because one thing that I know, and I know as well as your viewers, people would try to create a narrative of you that they feel like you should live.
yeah.
And my mom was not about that. She
Yeah.
always showed up, and she was authentically herself at all times. And sometimes it made you scratch your head, like, I don't quite understand this. But
Yeah.
I can tell you, as a grown woman, and certainly the relationship that I had with her, me and my siblings had with her, and certainly in her death, we've learned so much more about her, just intimately going through her life. um, she was authentic all the time and not sometime. And that resonates, of course, with me. And I hope that it resonates with all of your viewers, is to show up every day and be your best authentic self, because it matters.
It's there's a word you said that keeps resonating in my world right now at the current moment. I notice that when I need to learn something, that word just keeps coming up. And one of the things you said was living with intentionality, like doing things with intention. And I'm working on that as a just as an individual, doing things with a purpose, because I get inspired a lot. I get a lot of inspiration, and then it'll hit me, and then I'm just full force. Now I am working on taking that creativity and taking that moment of inspiration and being laser focused, meaning now taking it from above, from how God puts it on my heart, and just living with intentionality. And then when you say non-conforming and being your authentic self, learning to say no and being
Learning
okay
to
with
say
it.
no.
Hey, nope, that's not how I'm gonna do it. Nope, that's not how I'm gonna I don't subscribe to your opinion and your thoughts. I listen and I will take it into consideration depending on what it is, but I will not conform. So your mother, she's a wise woman indeed. Most definitely a wise woman.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'll say, it was really hard to kind of just wake up every day and find joy after my mom's passing because it was so many different question marks because it was so unexpected. But I know that one thing that truly helped me, and my husband, because he and my mom were really close too. But one thing that he kept saying to me over and over again that really resonated with me was the fact that your mother lived with intentionality. Your mother lived the life that she wanted to live, and she was happy. She was happy. I know you, he would say, I know you probably wanted her to be with you in Nashville, but she didn't want to live in Nashville.
Yeah.
She and so it brings me back to intentionality, and that's something that I too even try to embrace even more every single day is to move with intentionality. Don't just exist, but be intentional with your existence and how you move forward.
And now, how did this inspiration, this woman named Brenda, come to birth this collection? Why memorialize her in these pieces? What was it about that you felt was reflected of your mother's spirit?
Well, I'll say my mom, she had a lot of medical trials throughout her life. I learned in her after her death that even when she was 3 days old, after she was born, she had to have, she had some medical issues that had to be attended to. And so fast forward later on into life, my mom ended up having two transplants. She had a heart transplant in 2005, and she had a kidney transplant in 2019. And so, me and my family were huge advocates of transplants because it gave us so many more years with my mom that we would not have ordinarily had. And so, with those things, I learned just in watching her, her resilience. And she had to take medications forever. I'm talking about if you know what a caboodle is,
Yes, I know the caboodles. Yeah,
yeah, little suitcase, little
you
makeup
love
case.
it.
She had like caboodles of medicine, literally, that she had to take her rejection medicines to make sure that her organs, her transplanted organs, sustained themselves. And so, just watching her go through that, and sometimes I cringe at taking vitamins every day, you know, and watching her go through that. And no matter what, she showed up and she was joyful. No matter what, she showed up and she looked good. And I would oftentimes say, Mom, you look cute today. And her response wasn't thank you. It was, I know. And and we would always look at her and say, well, thank you still works. She said, no, I know. But that was her way of empowering herself. And she would always say to us, you look good, you feel good. No matter what I'm going through, I have a new lease on life. I want to see my children get older, have their families, my grandchildren. She lived for us. She fought so long for us. And so, in losing her, and just trying to process this because it was a lot, it's still a lot,
Sure.
and trying to just see what is the best way that I can honor my mom out loud that really speaks to who she was as a woman. And the one thing that just resonated with me was fashion. She loved to look good. She loved to look good from her head down to her shoes. She did not care if she was going to a doctor's appointment. And so from that, it really dropped in my spirit. And like the beginning of September of last year, and on my birthday, September the 27th, I chose to launch the Brenda Built collection as a fashion collection to empower people, both men and women, and to birth something in honor of my mom on the same day that she birthed me. So it was my way of giving back to her, giving life to her on the day that she had actually given life to me. And I know she was in pain that day, labor pain. So through my own pain of grief, I
Correct.
chose to choose that day to just really celebrate her and to coordinate and curate a collection of fashion of pieces that really, when people wear them, that it makes you stand up taller. It makes you walk a little taller and just feel bold and feel empowered no matter what space you walk into.
I see that when I was looking through your website, and one of the things that kept standing out to me with your pieces is, first of all, they're bold and unique in such a beautiful way. And then the names of your collections, Zamunda, Wakanda versus Wakanda. Then you have a kings and queens. I just see strength throughout the pieces, but they're not old all, some pieces are very bold and big. Some of them are more petite and, delicate, but still create a statement. So it can be slender and strong, bolder and strong. Prints, the hats, the scars. I mean, just all of these pieces are so unique. How did you choose those pieces? Because obviously these pieces were not just chosen haphazardly. I see that. They were curated, as you said, with intention. So what were you looking for to say, yes, this is reflective of my mother. Yes, this is reflective of the spirit of the Brenda Built collection.
Well, one thing my mom and I shared, she always would say I was a sister that she never had. And I was also her stylist, if you will. And so I didn't ask for that title. She kind of just gave it to me. And so with that, we would always talk fashion, and I'd be like, coaching her on things. And then when my sister and I actually, and my niece, had to actually go to her home and start going through some of her things, and beautiful pieces, colorful pieces, bold pieces with tags still on them. She didn't even get an opportunity to wear. And then thinking about how she would see me in something, or I would see her in something, or we'll buy the same things and shop together. And so I wanted pieces that were going to be reflective of her. I wanted pieces that I knew that she would wear herself, and I wanted pieces that was timeless. One thing about my mom is that she would always say, y'all just wearing the stuff that we wore back in the day. She's I could have just kept all of my clothes, and
Yes,
that's so true.
yes, yes. I hear that a lot. My mother
Yeah.
look at me. She's like, "We used to wear this. We used to do this. You guys are just bringing stuff back.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Just
It's
go into
so
my
true.
closet."
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, just when I sit down to really curate our different collections, it's really thinking about, pieces that I know she would wear, pieces that are timeless. Because for me, fashion should be timeless. Style is timeless. Fashion is just an outward way that you can kind of show the world your personality. You cannot feel well, but if you put on you with some jeans and a white tee and throw on a fedora, it could just make you walk a little taller. And so this month, of course, being Women's History Month, I've said that I was going to share random pictures of my mom on our Brenda Built Collection Facebook and also Instagram pages, just to kind of show some of her fashion sass and kind of show her at different points in her life. And even the one I shared a picture today on our Facebook and
I saw
social
it.
media.
Yes.
Um, she had on a fedora, and that was way back in the
Way back when
day.
she was young, it was a very young picture of her. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, yes.
But that style still works today.
Yeah.
The big frames, the fedoras, the scarves. I think she had on a pantsuit. And
Yes.
so it's all about the embodiment of strength and using fashion, using style to kind of help you to show that on an outward sense.
I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing. Now, how do these pieces now go on to empower others? So, I'm like I said, I see some pieces. I already know what I'm ordering. So when we're done with this interview, I'm gonna be online ordering because that fedora, like the way I'm like, oh yes, oh yes. Before we even talk about that, you said something cool. You said you can rock this fedora, you can put the big frames, rock on and put on a t-shirt, jeans, and just go about your day. Your mom didn't care what time of day it was. You didn't have to go anywhere special or fancy. She just dressed up, whether it be going to the doctor or running whatever errands she needed to run. How important is it for us to be like that? To just dress for the sake of dressing up?
It's life changing. And I say that because time is going to come and time is going to pass. We don't know if, tomorrow, we don't know what tomorrow brings. It's kind of like the fine china that you get, whether it be for weddings or, special anniversaries or what have you, and you try to use that fine china only for holidays and so forth. That wasn't my mom. It was like, if it's in my pantry, I'm going to use it every day. So for her, if it's in my closet, I'm going to wear it every day, whether I go to the grocery store, the doctor's office. Even when she would come visit us in Nashville, she would get fully dressed to the T just to come to the living room to sit on the couch and talk all day. But that was her spirit. And I think that, especially the times that we're living in right now, we're in some very uncertain times. We're really in some just very trauma filled times, if you will. It's a very traumatic time. But I think that, don't wait on the right event or the right moment. I think every day we need to get up and live our lives with purpose, live our lives with intentionality, and just use the slightest things that make you feel good. If it's throwing on a fedora, if it's throwing on a big pair of hoops, or whatever it is. I think that it's important that when you look good, you feel good. You don't have to be a fashion model. You don't have, what Brenda Built Collection is not about a certain size or anything like that, or a certain look. These pieces, you create your own look. You and I can wear the exact same thing and wear it totally different, and it still be beautiful. you
Yes,
know
absolutely. Absolutely. Your energy, your own unique self will take that piece and just change it up because you're you and the other person is the other person. So now how do your pieces inspire strength in others? How do you feel? What do you think? How does it inspire others to feel strong? Especially
well,
with
I
what
hope,
Brenda,
right,
Zamunda,
I
Kings
hope
and
that,
Queens. Yeah.
because what we do is, with the Brenda Built Collection, there's really some thought put into the names that we even select for some of our pieces. And we hope, just in browsing the shop, our online site, that just like you did, that you see some names that kind of stick out to you and inspire you and say, oh, let me see what that's about. And
Yes.
so that's the first thing, is just that the titles alone kind of captivate you to look further. Even in some of our descriptions that we have, I know we have a couple of necklaces on our site, and they're named after African butterflies. And we had intentionally did that because it was an opportunity, because they were very colorful and vibrant and so forth. But we wanted to use it as an opportunity too. To My mom was an avid learner. She had 4 degrees.
Uh-huh.
She never stopped learning. She loved to learn, and so I saw it as a way to kind of incorporate, just a learning piece in there as well. But I mean, every day is an opportunity to showcase your best self, even if you don't feel your best. Sometimes, if you just show up and you showcase your best self, it will put you in a new frame of mind. And so, for us with the Brenda Built Collection, we are always thinking about how can we use these pieces to empower people. The prints being bold, the colors being bold,
Yeah.
even to our packaging. A Brenda Built Collection package is like no other package you will ever
Oh,
receive.
I can't wait.
It's an experience. It's an absolute experience. And just like when, of course, your friend Demetrius sent you the package from our collection, it
Yes.
was an experience. When you opened it, you felt some type of way, and
It was. I was like, "Who is this woman? I gotta meet her." It really was. To open this. I'm just. It was such. It really was an experience. I like the word. It was an experience. It was.
and that's important for us, is to cultivate customer experiences. It's beyond customer service for us. It's to cultivate customer experiences. I make it a point, I give handwritten notes in all of our packages, because it's important for people to connect with you. It's not just, you go on a site, you buy something, yeah, they UPS it, or send it through the post office to you. No, I want you to know that every time that a package is purchased and it is shipped out to you, it's special, because my mom always wanted to travel. Now, she didn't want to fly anywhere. She was afraid to fly, but she always wanted to travel. She said, I would either have to drive there, or I would have to get on a boat somewhere. And I'm like, okay. And so for me, it's an opportunity too, when I, get a package prepared to send to a customer. It's kind of like sending my mom on her own little travel excursion. So
Mhm.
she's all on her own adventure. She's gone to Hawaii. She's gone to, California. She's gone to so many places. And these are just customers that we've had in these areas that continuously patronize us. And so every time that, something is a package is sent out, it's like sending my mom on that trip. And I know she's gotten there by plane on most accounts, especially Hawaii and California. So I
Yes,
finally got her on that plane.
I love that. Mom, you are traveling. You are traveling, you are reaching far and wide, going around the world and just really touching people. Like I said, it touched me. I didn't know who you were, and I just saw these beautiful butterflies, and it just and the story just connected me to you. So I mean, I love the pieces, and I love the Brenda book collections. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Absolutely. So our website is www.brendabuiltcollection.com. You can see our beautiful logo on this side. You can see our beautiful logo here with the Brenda Built Collection. We have unique accessories, apparel, and we even have fashion eyewear, be it, some sunglasses or just a nice pair of big frames. And all of our frames, you can add your own prescription to them. You can take them to whoever you utilize to have your prescriptions put in them. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us both on Facebook and Instagram at Brenda Built Collection. And so, yeah, we haven't even been in existence a year yet. We have been truly blessed. And like I said, for me, it's been a part of my grief process. It's been very therapeutic. Just for me, it's a big deal to sit and prepare a package to send to customers and being able to curate it beautifully so that when you receive it and you open it up, it's truly an experience for you. And we just hope that we are making people feel empowered along the way.
Well, you definitely are. You most definitely are making people feel empowered along the way. It's in everything. It's in the packaging, it's in the pieces that you've curated, it's in the story that you've just shared with us. It's in everything that is the Brenda Book Collection. So you are definitely honoring your mother's memory and her lessons and everything that she's invested in you. Now you're paying it forward so many times. So I think that's just a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Um, so I always ask my guests this one question before we close. If we could go back and talk to Atika right before this moment, where right before she birthed Brenda Built Collection, what would you say to her if you could go back and speak to her?
If I could go back, that's a great question. Um, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is, girl, slow down.
Mm.
Just, girl, slow down, be patient, and just smell your roses while they bloom. I am guilty. I am guilty of just always being in go mode. Just go, 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 go. So much so, I'm very task oriented. But I have learned, and I'm still learning, to just slow down, be patient. And as much as I love roses, and many of us probably love roses, my mom loved roses. They're beautiful once we see them bloom, but the process that it takes for them to bloom, we don't necessarily want to see that. And
Yeah.
so for me, I wasn't interested in that. I just wanted the big, beautiful, red roses, right?
Yes.
And so just really be, it's all in accordance with being still, um, to listen to yourself, to listen to your heart, and to just get a better understanding of you. Because one thing about it, as I stated earlier in our interview, time is going to come and time is going to pass. There's nothing that we can do about that. But we can be more intentional with every second that we have in our actions. And I think for me, just being able to slow down, be still, and to really focus on the process of my roses blooming instead of just looking for the big, red, beautiful blooms.
Those are beautiful words of advice. And listen, I know I'm guilty of the same thing as are many of us out there listening and watching. We are all guilty of that, of just being on the go. And sometimes I think we are so busy. Sometimes I think we just make ourselves busy. So we don't have to sit down and slow down, because it's when you sit down and slow down, there's a silence.
Mhm,
And sometimes that silence can be very uncomfortable, because
mhm,
it's in the silence things start to come up that we were able to hide in the noise.
mhm,
But we don't realize when we sit down, in the silence, that not now we face those things and look at them. And as you said earlier in interview, when you own your stuff, now you become empowered because now you faced it. You said, okay, I know this monster. I know this monster. I got you, monster. It's like a little kid. I'm not scared of you anymore. I'm not scared of you anymore, right? Because now you can see it. And so
Absolutely.
that's how we begin to learn to be strong, to be able to sit in our silence and be able to grow from it. So, Atika, thank you so much. Thank you so much, so much, so much for joining us today and just sharing with us what it means to be strong and not only just defining it, but showing giving us the steps and just living as Brenda did and continue to be inspired by her.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for your audience for tuning in. I just say to anyone out there, just keep going, no matter what. Keep going, no matter how much it hurts, no matter what the process is. Just put your flag in the ground and say, "Hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to pursue on because when you push forward and you continue to be persistent and pursue forward, great things will come." And I'm still pushing through my journey of grief. It still hurts, and it's going to hurt forever, but I am learning to manage it better. And I just thank you again for having me. Thank you for, sharing the story of my mom. Lord, we miss her. We miss her. We miss her. We miss her. But every day, my purpose has been renewed because I'm determined to make sure that your mother doesn't have to be named Brenda in order to feel the impact of Brenda Built because you, my friend, are Brenda Built.
That's right. And that's all she wrote. I love it. Perfect. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Fam, I want to thank you for joining us for this beautiful episode of what it means to be strong. And I want to thank Atika for sharing her words of advice and to share her mother with us, and sharing with us what it means to be Brenda Built. And I want you all to take away a couple of things she said. Slow down, be patient, be still, enjoy the process. Because that is when you get to learn all the little all the little finer things that make you you. Fam, be bigger, be fitter, be stronger. As always, be good to you, and I'll see you next time.